What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another League of Legends video, guys. Yo, today, man, we're heading back into another Champions Spotlight. Yo, as far as I can see, you know, League of Legends be making so many OP champs. I can't understand how they figure all these champs could be fucking so OP. Every single champ have some skill set that makes them, when they attack, they get back fucking health. They can prance around the entire fucking place. And Mordekaiser, Jesus, Mordekaiser has to be the most fucking OP champ. My guy literally taking you to the death realm and fucking you up. It's like how Mr. carried you to the death realm. 1v1 me, bitch. 1v1 me, you pussy. That's what he was basically doing it about. Yo, League of Legends, them different, extremely fucking different. But yeah, we're heading back into another champion spotlight today, man. Just yo, I mean, I am so enjoying this fucking shit, man. This is fucking enjoying. And what is a lot of people say, oh, League of Legends carrying them down the freaking road of self-loathing. I don't even know how you all be fucking self-loathing from this game, but why? This game looks extremely fun. I mean, the people would be toxic, but the game itself looks to be very fun. So I don't know. I honestly don't know, man. But so yeah, we're just gonna hop back in. So come on, guys. I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope every single one of you all are just fantastic today. Fantastic. So let's hop in the video. Yeah, so we're gonna start with Swain today, the Grand General. I didn't get to see his kit. I only got to know about his lore and his voice lines, but I didn't see his kit. So we're just gonna see his champion spotlight today. So let's go. My boy with the the 6-eyed crows. We're ravens, ain't more crows.
There are those who are good and those who are evil.
That's what's it?
These words.
Rast? No, this is Rom. Rast is in fucking Kid.
Is the strength of their will.
Welcome to the Swain Champion Spotlight.
Yo, so the demon is in his left hand, right? It doesn't take control of him. It's in its left hand. It's a Darkin. It's a Darkin, right?
Swain's passive, Ravenous Flock, has two components.
Ravenous Flock?
Enemy champions leave behind soul fragments when they die. Shadowy ravens scavenge nearby soul fragments, healing Swain. He can also store a bunch of soul fragments, and we'll go over what that means a little bit later. Now let's talk about Ravenous Flock's second effect. Right-clicking any nearby immobilized enemy champion damages them, drags them towards Swain, and rips out a soul fragment.
Wow.
The drag has a moderate cooldown, so you'll have to choose the best victim when following up on area of effect lockdowns.
Okay. AoE damage.
Swain's Q, Death's Hand, unleashes several bolts of Eldritch power in front of him.
You see that shit? That's 5. Claps.
Multiple hits on the same target deal reduced damage beyond the first. Bolts pierce through targets they kill, restoring a portion of Swain's mana and hitting the next unit in their path.
Yo, so he healing mana and fucking health.
Minions, or refresh your mana pool wave clearing.
Look, he's using the mana to fucking
Swain's
extend the range.
Vision of Empire opens a demonic eye at a target location, damaging and slowing all enemies in the area after a moderate delay. Champions.
Look how big that shit is.
Extra damage. Grant Swain
look, you see how big the range is?
Revealed. Vision of Empire's range is freaking massive. It
has
tons of versatility as a
That's
zoning,
big, yo.
reconnaissance, and follow-up tool. It's up to you
and
as a master tactician to figure out the best way to use it. It's typically not wave clear. Swain's E, Never Move, projects his demonic hand forward, then calls it back, damaging everything it touches. Never Move passes through enemies on the way out, but explodes if it hits something as it's returning.
Come back,
Targets
okay.
caught in the explosion are rooted in addition to damage. Never Move explodes if it hits any enemy on the way back, not just enemy champions. Keep an eye on what's behind your target, or you could end up rooting a minion or monster by mistake.
Instead of an enemy. It feels bad, bird dad.
Opportunities to follow up on Never Move with your other abilities. Pull your opponent in with Ravenous Flock's right click, then drop a 5-finger Death's Hand for tons of damage. Once you've got a grasp on Swain's kit, eyeball an opportunity to add Vision.
Oh wow, that's a fucking easy.
Swain's ultimate, Demonic Ascension, invokes his full power, granting a
These
big
turns.
chunk of health on cast and draining life from the nearest enemies for an extended duration, prioritizing champions.
What the?
When
So
Demonic
you prioritize
Ascension
in low life
ends
champs.
by running down the duration or by reactivating after draining enough health, Swain casts Demon Flare, the payoff for collecting all those soul fragments. Swain crushes every fragment in his possession to unleash a nova of demonic energy, damaging the closest enemies around him. The nova's damage increases for each fragment consumed.
So the more
Demon
fragments he
Flare
comes
is
to, the more
make or
fucking
break
damage, yo.
moments
Look,
in
look, look.
fights. Flash bombing the opposing backline is a play for the highlight reels when Swain does quick maths. But if you don't know 2 + 2 is 4, miscalculations will leave him stranded in the middle of a very angry
Fuck,
enemy
what
team
if you
with
don't
no
know 2 +
access
2
to
is
his
4?
survival tools.
Shit.
Let's sum it up with a late-game team fight to strike fear into the foes of Noxus. Swain catches Ezreal and Braum with a well-aimed Never move, then pulls Ez in with a rapid
Come and then hit him with the
Ezreal
fucking
tries to
5.
flash to safety, but is winged by the far edge of Demon Flare. A few more pecks murder Braum, bringing the team fight to a tidy conclusion.
Wow.
Thanks for watching the Swain Champion Spotlight. Click these
What
links
are
for
these
more
at the
intel on
side?
Noxian Grand General.
Seen some fucking bands swirling typhoon looking shit. Okay,
Don't be
terrifying.
fooled by her
Zoe!
Zoe is an ancient being, a cosmic
Zoe!
messenger of Targon. And when the aspect of Twilight appears, she warps reality itself. Welcome
Aspect
to
of-
the Zoe Champion Spotlight.
This is aspect of Targon, aspect of Twilight. She's the one. No, it's not her. Aatrox was talking about the one before Zoe.
Zoe's passive is more sparkles! After casting a spell, Zoe's next attack deals bonus damage.
Okay, so that's the one she used. If she use a Q in the
Zoe's
next.
Q is
Oh, Mrs. Jumping.
Star.
Mrs. Skipping with the fucking stars.
Zoe fires a star that damages in a small area,
whoa,
additionally
whoa.
applying extra damage from her passive. She can recast Q mid-flight to redirect the star.
She's skipping with the fucking
Its damage
stars.
increases based on the distance it
And
has
they
traveled in a straight line. Send stars far away from enemies before
And let them come
recasting
back
Q
in.
to deal the most damage.
Damage.
possible. Some might even say tons. Zoe's W is THIEF.
And
What? It's a
she,
spell thief.
she's.
Enemy
She's-
summoner spells and active items drop spell shards in the ground when they're used. Collecting a spell shard
So she can
grants
pick them
Zoe
up-
one cast of that spell or item via Spell Thief.
What the? So she can steal.
Occasionally, minions can drop a spell
flashes.
shard when Zoe kills them as well. Zoe and her team can see which minions hold shards, but enemies can't.
Wow.
When casting any summoner spell or using anything Spell Thief's picked up, Zoe briefly gains bonus movement speed and tosses
Yo,
missiles
she's
at the
fast
nearest
as
enemy,
fuck, yo.
prioritizing her most recent target. Each missile grants the bonus damage from her passive. Remember, Spell Thief has no cooldown. It just requires you to have a spell shard.
A spell. What? Look, because look, they're picking up. So she could just dash.
Zoe's E is Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
She's just like
Zoe
fucking
throws a
Lilia.
ball that detonates on the first target hit, dealing damage and making the struck enemy drowsy. After a couple of seconds, drowsy enemies will briefly fall asleep. If a sleeping enemy takes damage, they'll take extra and wake up in the process.
She's just like fucking Lilia's
Damage over
sleepy
time
shit.
effects, including things like Morgana's Tormented Soil, will not do bonus damage or wake the target. If the
Oh.
bubble hits nothing, it lingers on the ground as a trap for a few seconds.
And
If cast
what?
over a wall, it gains bonus range.
So you can throw that shit all the way. She's not getting away.
Zoe's ultimate is Portal Jump.
Oh yeah, she jump
When cast,
and then
Zoe
come back.
teleports, then returns where she started after a short delay. Before returning, she can use abilities and attack normally, but cannot walk. Even if other movement abilities like Flash are used, Zoe will always return to her starting position. Unlike most ultimates, Portal Jump has an exceptionally short cooldown. She'll get to use it multiple times per
Multiple
fight.
times inside a fight. Zoe's
During your
wild,
first
yo.
laning phase with Zoe, you're gonna have to do some work to figure out her basic combos. Practice directing your Q around minions to catch opponents off guard, while weaving an auto
So
attack.
you have to
between
direct that
casts.
fucking Q to go in that
Figure out how to
direction
land
you
long-range
want.
paddle stars for bigger bursts.
Whap!
Putting your enemies down for a nap
Caitlyn.
makes it so easy to
That's
land
Shen, right? That's fucking Shen. Ooh, that fucking
Once you
Q
hit
it
6, you'll want to
does
start
millions of
regularly
damage, yo.
working portal jump into your combos. It effectively grants extra range and therefore damage to your abilities.
What the?
Use R to dodge skill shots, grab spell shards, or
And-
simply close the gap to land a guaranteed sleepy trouble bubble. While Zoe's R is great for dodging incoming abilities, it is not any good as an escape tool.
Yeah, because it might automatically go back to your fucking starting position.
After pushing your lane, be your jungler's buddy and look to prance into other lanes or the enemy jungle for picks. Building cooldown reduction early
Wow,
will
he man-
boost Zoe's pick
fucking
power
had-
through the early and mid game.
Listen, fucked up.
Durability items
Sleep.
give Zoe more
Hit
room
him with
to
the
maneuver
fucking
when
Q.
you get into
What
bigger
the-
fights. And of course, through all
Portal
of
jump.
ability.
Yo!
Since Spell Thief can cause almost any active item or summoner spell to drop suddenly, good Zoe players have to be creative to adapt to situations on the fly. If you see a flash in range, you might want to flash to grab it, then flash again to pick off their backline.
Wow.
You left a copy of your
Portal
spell.
jump
That's
Q.
it. Give it.
Sleep. What the? This
Surf
portal
on the
jump
outskirts
sleep
of fights,
Q.
acting like an artillery assassin until you see the opportunity to push forward and collect vital spell shards to facilitate an all-in.
Look at all the flashes, yo.
Zoe isn't meant to be an entry-level champion. Her abilities can be combined in lots of different ways, and she'll take a lot of games to master. But
More than a lot,
with her,
because the
you'll
whole-
become a star.
You become a star. Yo, because the whole spell.
You're so funny. Acting
What?
like
She can-
magic hurts.
Yo, Zoe's a nice
Thanks
shot,
for
but
watching
fuck,
the
she would
Zoe
be fucking
Champion
hard to
Spotlight.
fucking
Portal
master,
jump
yo.
below to learn more about the aspect of Twilight.
Zoe. Aspect of Twilight.
This is
Ornn,
Ornn, the fire below
The Forge
mountain.
Master. Ornn, the Forge Master. Yo,
Ornn
let me
likes
see you
to do
forge a
things
weapon, bro.
himself, like
Come
building
on, bro.
items. Instead of
Yeah.
bothering with shopkeepers, he builds his own. And when the round
Come on.
decides it's time for a team fight, he
Woo.
uses mountains to start one.
My boy just headbutt the fucking
Ornn
ram.
Champion Spotlight.
No further pleasantries needed.
No further pleasantries needed, my boy. Abilities, Ornn.
Ornn has two passives. The first is Living Forge.
Living Forge.
It lets Ornn spend gold to build non-consumable items for himself anytime he's out of combat. Build items by opening the shop anywhere on the map and spending gold like normal. Just for convenience, you can also build things by clicking items shown in this menu.
That's a weapon. You know.
So she doesn't have to go back to base?
Ornn's second passive is Master Craftsman. It gives Ornn and his teammates access to special upgrades for a few items in the shop. Each champion on Ornn's team is limited to just one special item.
What the f...
Ornn's Q is Volcanic Rupture.
How?
Ornn slams the ground, dealing damage and slowing enemies in a line. After a short delay, a magma pillar forms at its maximum range, or right behind the first enemy champion struck,
Yes.
whichever comes first.
So
The
that
pillar
comes
works
that,
like a wall, but does not
Oh.
knock up enemies.
like a fucking blockage.
Ornn's W is Bellows Breath. Ornn belches out flames that deal damage based on the enemy's current health and shields himself for a short duration.
Yo,
While
he
Bellows
might
Breath
shi-
is active, Ornn is unstoppable, which means that any incoming crowd control won't have any effect until the
On
ability
him.
completes. The
Wow.
final burst of Bellows Breath makes any struck enemies become brittle. This is a brand new status effect in League, so let's explain how it works.
Okay, so
When
it's like a
brittle,
rework.
enemies lose tenacity. Think of it like negative mercury treads. Things like stuns and slows last longer
Last
when
longer.
used on these targets.
Ooh.
Brittle enemies that are struck by hard crowd control take bonus damage. This consumes the debuff.
Ah.
There's one other effect that's unique to Ornn. Basic attacking a brittle target knocks them back and consumes the debuff. Ornn's E is Searing Charge.
Who my boy
Ornn
fucking
charges,
charging?
displacing and damaging enemies in his way. If Ornn collides with terrain while charging, he stops, creating a
I'll
shockwave
knock
that
up.
damages and knocks up nearby enemies.
Wow.
This ability destroys terrain created by enemy champions.
What the
Barely
fuck?
touched it.
It also destroys
That's a
Volcanic
Nivea.
Rupture's pillar. Pull off Ornn's basic combo by getting close enough to lightly roast enemies with Bellows Breath. Once they're good and brittle, turn up the heat
Oh,
with a
and he
searing
hit him
charge
with the
into
fucking
nearby
bar so you
terrain
can
for
knock
knockout.
them off.
If you can
Yo,
charge into Volcanic Rupture's pillar,
That needs,
it'll be a
that
jump
needs some
extra
that
well
needs
done.
some fucking skill to do.
Ornn's ultimate is Call of the Forge God. Ornn
You see
summons
that
a
fucking
massive
ram?
elemental that charges toward him. Enemies run over by the elemental are damaged, slowed, and made brittle.
Singed fur.
I saw you just ran
You can
straight past him.
recast this ability
Oh,
to
that
headbutt the
hit
elemental,
it back.
redirecting it. The
Okay.
rebounding ram will deal the same effects as before, except knocking enemies up instead of slowing them.
So this is a good fucking thing for Yasuo. So
A mistimed headbutt will leave Ornn feeling sheepish.
so you have to time it.
Your ultimate can be an amazing setup tool for allied crowd control. Catch them
You
in
have
the
to
Forge God
fucking time it.
stampede, then tag them into a wall to make him feel extra ornery. Hey!
I thought that you just press it and it when it reaches to you, you just headbutt and just go. But you have to fucking time that shit. Fuck that.
You may want to max W first for the wave clear. It's his most reliable ability.
That's the fucking breathing. Ooh.
Horns fast. I've seen sturdier sandcastles.
If your enemies think they know your item build, use Living Forge to pull the wool over their eyes.
Yeah, my
Here,
boy just
Ornn
forging
crafts
weapons,
in
yo.
Righteous glory. He then activates it to hoof down Blitzcrank and ram him into a wall.
Yo, look how
Allowing him to
fast
catch up
he is
and bring
behind the
Blitzcrank to
fucking
ground.
Blitzcrank.
This is called building character.
Well, Blitzcrank doesn't have
Use
any
your
fucking
passive
flash.
to forge items in lane that give an immediate advantage against your opponent. For example, forge an early Spectre's Cowl into heavy magic damage. To hammer it home, think about forging a Warmogs when you're low on health to stay on the map.
Good job, everyone.
So do these forged items disappear after, or
As
you
Ornn,
get
it's
to
your
keep
job
them?
to bring the team fight. Call of the Forge God has a fixed distance, so try to place it in a spot that cuts off your opponent's path. Then stay
Knock
away
it
from
back.
enemy crowd
Ooh.
control so you can stick the redirect. Let's put it all together for a team fight. You want to start out the fight with both passes of Call of the Forge God.
Look.
When the baddies are knocked up, drop your Q pillar and get ready to follow up with a searing
Ram.
charge.
Ooh, yo!
Touches.
Stay in the fight with Bellows Breath and trigger the Brittle debuff as often as you can to take down enemies of all shapes and sizes.
Wow.
Even my
He's a
parents
tanky champ. He's a tanky champ with fucking knockups.
Thanks for tuning in to the Orange
Yo,
Champion Spotlight.
he's
Aren't you glad there weren't more puns?
my boy frying
I
eggs
know,
on his
they were
fucking
really
hand.
corny.
Oh God.
Welcome to the League
He's
of
the
Legends
fucking
Champion
guy with the
Spotlight,
chain of a bitch.
featuring
Yo,
Urgot,
what?
the
My
Dreadnought.
boy just killed Warwick.
You die.
The Dreadnought.
I choose.
Oh shit. I see you die when I choose. Abilities. Urgot. He's a tanky ADC, right?
Urgot's passive is Echoing Flames. Attacking an enemy near one of Urgot's 6 legs will fire out a blast like a shotgun, damaging all enemies in the
You
area.
see, they have Vi
Each leg
there
has its own
because he's the
internal
one with the
cooldown.
fucking
Additionally, multiple
warrior.
Echoing Flames to the same target deal reduced damage. In lane, Urgot's passive, combined with
His name is
auto
Nautilus.
attack, let
That's
him
his
weaken
name,
opponent
Nautilus.
before he goes for the kill. But be careful, the cooldown on each leg is quite long at lower levels, so if your legs are down, you're the one who's weak.
Wow. So you have to switch the direction of where
Urgot's
the
Q
leg
is
is.
Corrosive Charge, which explodes at a location, damaging and slowing everything around it. Enemy champions struck are locked onto. Locked onto
Okay.
for what? That's up next.
Oh, okay. Let's.
Urgot's W is Purge. When activated,
Let's
he gains a shield and
prioritize.
slow resist, but lowers his base movement speed for several seconds. While the effect holds, he automatically fires at the nearest enemy, or preferentially, the nearest locked onto enemy champion.
Okay. Yes.
Like you'd expect, these attacks will trigger your passive at the correct angles, which means you'll want to reposition around your opponent to get all the damage.
the
you
legs. Oh, with the legs, yo. So if I were to
Urgot's
just
E is Disdain. Urgot charges, damaging and pushing aside all enemies he tramples. If he runs into an enemy champion, he'll stop, stun them, throw them behind him,
Throw them
and
behind.
lock onto them. If Urgot runs into a wall with Disdain, he'll stop at the wall, but won't stun or throw it over his head.
Hold on.
oh fuck,
There's something.
we're gonna pull out the rubber ducky.
That's better.
Getting on the other side of your opponents can be incredibly difficult, so
Yep.
it's hard to shoot all 6 Echoing Flames.
Yeah, that's
Thankfully,
true.
Disdain puts your target right behind you if it connects. allowing
I
you to
throw him
more
back and hit him with the
effective
other legs. Yo!
A pathetic display.
Urgot's ultimate is Fear Beyond Death. Urgot fires out and impales the first enemy champion struck, damaging, slowing based on their missing health, and locking onto them for the duration of the tether.
Wow.
While impaled, things get scary for Urgot's foe. If they fall low enough, Urgot may recast Fear Beyond Death to seal their doom. He suppresses his
drag
prey
them
and
in.
pulls his chains back in. When his target finally reaches him, he brutally executes them.
Oh.
If Urgot successfully grinds an enemy, he terrifies the living who still remain.
So and pushes them away. He fears them. So that fuck.
Purge churns out a ton of damage, but it's up to
Camille.
whether it hits the right targets. Locking onto the right one is paramount to avoid wasting all of your damage and getting off on the wrong
Throwback.
foot.
Get hit from all these legs, bro.
Urgot may be beefy, but he is not a tank. His ranges are low, so he'll need good positioning not only to maximize his damage, but also to simply stay alive. Stay on the
Not a
fringes
tank.
of a fight, looking for the perfect moment to harvest your first victim with fear beyond death. Try to draw an opponent out and unload your rotation on them. Once they're low, you can go for the execute even
and
if they try to run
come
away.
over here.
From there, it's
Get
cleanup
over
time.
here.
Focus on targets who can't escape you and take them down one at a time. The most important skill to learn with Urgot is choosing the right moment to go all in. Done right, you'll go from Urgot to Urgod.
Urgon. Or Urgon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Urgot Champion
Show my boy
Spotlight.
exploded.
Click these links to learn more about League's newest Star Guardian. I'm kidding, but
Oh,
you will
fuck.
dread not reading up on everything else.
I was like, what the fuck? He's gonna be a new Star Guardian. I was like, what?
Is Kane,
Kane.
Shadow Reaper.
What he was telling me about him as well. He has
Sight
fucking
revealed
Rast.
by a Darkin named Rost.
Rast.
Every time Kane steps onto the rift, he has to fight Rost for control. Inevitably,
What?
one will consume the other. You choose the victor.
Oh, so you can choose which
Kane
one?
Champion Spotlight.
The Shadow Reaper. So you can choose which one becomes fucking. Is either Rast or fucking Kane.
Kane's
look at
passive
that.
is the
Look at
Darkin
fucking
Sight.
Rast.
At some point during each game, Kane transforms into either the Shadow Assassin or the Darkin. For Kane to conquer and destroy Rost, he must become the Shadow Assassin by damaging ranged champions. Meanwhile,
Oh.
fighting melee champions will empower Rost, which
Rost.
enables him
Oh,
to take
okay,
over
okay.
Kane's body and transform into the Darkin.
So the more. Oh wow, that's a fucking.
Once either form has won, return to base to attain your final form. This process will amplify most of your active abilities as well as replace the Darkened Scythe passive with an entirely new one.
So
based
it's
on the
different.
form you took.
It's different skills, or is the same skill set? It's the same skill set, right?
The Shadow Assassin's new passive deals significant bonus damage during the first few seconds of combat with champions,
Okay.
while the Darkin heals for a chunk of all ability damage dealt to champions.
Knock up.
No matter which form wins, you can simply wait a few minutes to choose the loser instead.
Okay, so you can switch
Kane's
back.
Q
That's
is
sweet.
Reaping Slash. Kane dashes, then swings his scythe in a circle. Both the dash and slash damage all enemies they hit.
Wow.
This ability deals bonus damage to
So
monsters.
he's a jungler. Right,
If
he's a
Rost
jungler.
wins the struggle, Reaping Slash deals bonus % health damage against all enemies except minions.
Wow.
Kane's W is Blade's Reach.
That's a knock up. That's the knock up. I saw that.
Kane rears back and slashes in a line, damaging and slowing all struck enemies.
Is
If
there a
Kane
knock
becomes
up?
the Shadow Assassin, the range is increased, and a living shadow will strike for him, allowing Kane to move freely after casting.
Isn't there a knock
If
up?
the Darkin is in control, Blade's Reach will knock up its foes.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering.
Kane's E is Shadow Step, which grants a burst of movement
Just
speed
like
and the ability
freaking
to walk through any
Zeri.
terrain
My
for a
boy
few
fucking
moments.
running across the terrain.
When
That's
he
Zeri
first enters
just.
terrain, he'll receive a heal and significantly extend the duration of Shadow Step. However, the extended duration won't be granted if Kane's in combat with enemy champions.
Oh.
As a Shadow Assassin, Kane gains additional movement speed and immunity to slows when activating Shadow Step.
What the fuck? So this is a perfect escape
Nearby enemy
tool
champions
or a
will
fucking
be
engaging
alerted of
tool?
Kane's presence while he's
Oh, with the
inside terrain.
fucking with the black stuff.
Because the base duration of Shadow Step is rather short, make sure you're close enough to a wall to actually phase through and extend the duration.
Oh, so okay.
When you plan out your ganks as Kane, think about how you can use Shadow Step to invent creative jungle and ganking routes. You have completely unique pathing as Kane, and learning that is extremely important.
Extremely
Even
unique,
the rift
yo.
itself isn't big enough to hold back the
Look at
Shadow
my
Step.
boy running all over the fuck.
Kane's ultimate is Umbral Trespass.
He goes inside of them?
When activated, Kane leaps inside an enemy champion he's recently damaged. While Kane's ghost riding his whip, he's untargetable and has the option to jump out early. Upon exiting his host, he deals massive damage to the target.
This is just like fucking
In
Mordekaiser,
Shadow
but
Assassin form, the cast range is increased, and it refreshes the bonus damage from his passive.
so Rast is like
As
a
a
fucking
Darkin, Umbral
juggernaut.
Trespass's base damage is replaced with max health damage, and heals Kane based on his target's max health as well. Basically, use it to chomp on tanks.
Yeah, so you can take
When you
away their
trespass
fucking
into
health.
an
The more
enemy,
health they have, the
select
more
their
health
train,
you get
and you're the
regens with you.
world's scariest freight hopper. You go wherever they go.
You can't
and then
fucking
you
get
kill the
away.
train.
Wow!
Zed would be impressed.
I said even Zed would be, because Zed is his fucking master.
Regardless of which form you gain access to first, think about
about just
which
running
of these
over terrain,
transformations
yo?
will benefit your team the most in the mid to late game. Does the enemy team have a lot of squishy carries you can burst?
Then you
If
use
so,
the shadow.
Assassin.
Aha! Assassin, yeah, the
Or if they
assassin.
have big bruisers and your team is lacking crowd
Then
control,
you
consider
go red.
choosing the Darkin's Slayer.
This is blue and red. Shadow Kane, red Kane.
As Kane, you're the only champ that can fully change roles in the middle of a game. Choose wisely.
My boy
The
couldn't just
Shadow
specific.
Assassin excels at flanking and picking off high priority targets
Look,
when they least
look,
expect
look.
it. Use Blade's Reach to engage, then dive into the Reaper
Slow.
Slash and dodge their big
Dodge
abilities
the
with
fucking
your ult.
oh!
There was a time to run, but you missed it.
The Darkin is, just like in his lore, real strong against assassins. Between his built-in sustain and crowd control abilities, the
'Cause he
demonic Horde
heals,
is
he heals so
extremely
much.
hard to kill.
And
When the
look,
situation gets tight, you
that's
can heal
Fizz
up in a
ult.
carefully
My boy go
timed
inside the
press
enemy
pass,
and
then knock out
what?
the pursuers and slip away into a wall.
And then he could just run through the terrain.
Armed and ready.
Thanks for tuning in to the Kane Champion Spotlight.
Click the link
Timo.
below or I'll eat your soul.
Ken coming for you, bro. Zaya and
League of
Rakan,
Legends
yo.
Champion Spotlight,
Cause
featuring
Zaya-
Zaya, the Rebel.
The Vastaya. Zaya is a Vastaya, right? Vastaya.
No one will block my path.
Vastaya. That wasn't that Rakan?
Gotcha.
Let's go!
That's looking fucking Rakan, yo.
They say I don't know when to quit.
The rebel.
That's a weakness.
Zaya the rebel. Abilities. Come on.
Zaya's passive is Clean Cuts. After casting an ability, Zaya's next few basic attacks are empowered,
Go
as
through.
indicated below her health bar.
Okay.
Each empowered basic attack will pierce through all enemies in their path, dealing reduced damage to targets other than the one you clicked on. They'll
Okay.
also leave a feather behind when they land. We'll talk more about feathers in a bit.
Cause she can pull them
When
back.
playing
What
on the
the
same
fuck?
team as her true love Rakan, Zaya gets a second passive, Lover's Leap.
Wait for me.
If either Zaya or Rakan is recalling, they can sync up to return to base
And go
together.
back to bed together just like fucking Yumi.
Zaya's Q is double daggers. Zaya throws 2 blades in a line, damaging all enemies they hit. Though, like her passive, they deal reduced damage for all targets beyond the first.
And they
The
leave a
blades also
fucking
leave a
blade.
feather where they land. Zaya's Q and passive let her trade in lane while staying safely behind her own minions. After slicing up Thresh with a pair of blades, Clean Cuts kicks in to give her opponents an extra licking.
1,000
Wow.
cuts is only the beginning.
Zaya's W is Deadly Plumage. Zaya conjures a storm of feather blades, increasing her attack speed
Attack
and
speed
granting
so she
bonus
can shoot.
damage to her next few
And
basic
all of them go
attacks.
through. No, they don't go through. Only the first few.
If Zaya attacks an enemy champion while empowered by Deadly Plumage, she'll gain a short burst of movement speed as well.
Okay, so there's a lot of movement
If
speed here.
Rakan is nearby when Zaya activates Deadly Plumage, he'll also gain the ability's effects.
Wow. Yo, so these two
The
sync
best time to
perfectly.
flaunt your Deadly Plumage is when an enemy overextends. When the Chain Warden whiffs a hook, Zaya uses her W speed boost to make him
But where you
really
going,
feel
bro?
the sting of embarrassment.
Because you missed your fucking
Dodging
cue.
seems to be a weak spot of yours.
Zaya's E is Blade Caller. She pulls in all nearby feathers,
Yes,
each
that's
dealing
she
damage
did
to
that
any
against
enemy first
Zed
strike on
when
the
Zed
way.
was in the. Oh fuck!
If a target is struck by at
Jin.
least 3 feathers, they'll be briefly rooted.
Rooted. Whoa!
One of the Rebels' bread and butter combos uses double daggers and a single well-aimed auto attack to set up Blade Caller's route. Here, Zaya waits
See-
until the loose cannon steps close and hits with the full Q
Jinx,
auto E
loose
combo.
cannon, Jinxie.
Zaya's ultimate is Feather Storm. Zaya leaps into the air, becoming briefly untargetable. After a short delay, she hurls a storm of blades in a cone, each of which deals damage and leaves a feather upon
And
landing.
then she can just pull them
Zaya may
back.
continue to move while airborne.
What the fuck?
The cleanest Featherstorm plays have used both its defensive and offensive
Offensive,
power.
because
Here,
you can
Zaya's
run.
taking a
Look,
risk by
look at
playing
the
rough with the Rabble
Gragas.
Rouser.
Gragas is fucking
Storms away
going.
safety just as Jin's W comes in, simultaneously setting up
And then,
a field of feathers to ensure
God,
the fat
bro.
man's demise.
God.
Obstacles go, that was about a 3 out of 10.
Zaya is
Both
fucking
Zaya and her
legendary.
opponents have to keep consistently aware of where her feathers are.
Yeah,
When
because
this clueless Kate tries to chill out in the middle of Zaya's feather bed, she
No,
ends
no,
up
look, look.
trading some of her health for nothing, actually.
nothing, because she
Bad
didn't
trade.
get to fucking hit.
Zaya needs a little time to set up her feather trap, so you need to keep a cool head even in hot situations. Here, Zaya makes a fatal error when fleeing from Volibear. She uses Blade Collar with only 2 feathers out, missing the snare and ensuring
Yeah, because
her
it's
own
3.
demise.
It's 3 feathers you have to fucking hit.
Crap.
With the extra wave clear potential granted by clean cuts, double daggers, and even Blade Collar, Zaya's one of
And so
League's
he can
best
go back?
and fastest pushing
Oh.
marksmen. And when the Rebel activates Deadly Plumage, both she and her lover turn into tower-taking monsters. I call
Wow.
that killing one stone with 2 birds.
With 2 birds. With 2
I think we're
birds.
supposed to laugh now.
Go back. Let's go back home.
Zaya is great at peeling for herself as long as you have the mechanics. When
The-
J4
where's-
dives in,
where's he
Zaya
going?
gets a
Where you
mouthful
going,
of
bro?
feathers with a perfectly timed feather storm. Immediate Blade Color secures kill number 1. Turning her attention to Kagura,
Look.
a slight juke to the left
Where you
ensures
going,
Blade Color
bro?
number 2 hits and roots her Void Foe. A flyby from Arcane sets Zaya up for the kill on Cog, and they both live happily ever... Well, they tried. Once per fight, Zaya gets to ignore enemy spells and set up an almost guaranteed route. Diving through Glacial Storm and Flash Frost, Featherstorm followed by Blade Collar forces
What
Janna's and Jinx's flashes. Without any cooldowns left to defend themselves,
That's in the video
she
because
and
she
League
turns
team
into
up
a
to prove once
fucking
and for all
egg when
who's
she
the
dies,
big
so she
bird on
can
this
fucking
street.
reborn.
I'm bored.
I'm bored. She's a rebel. My girl is a fucking rebel in.
Thanks for tuning in to the Zaya Champion Spotlight.
Zaya.
Zaya T to learn more about the other new champion.
Zaya
Well, then
T.
head on over to the Rakan Champion Spotlight.
Anxiety. Oh. Rakan.
Welcome.
You
to
can't
League
do
of Legends
fucking Zaya
Champion
without
Spotlight,
Rakan,
featuring
man.
Rakan, the
Come
charmer.
on. So Rakan is a support.
Be taken seriously.
Let's go.
They're both messiahs.
Zaya.
My boy just zooming all over the fucking place. Taking the charmer, the charmer. Fucking charmer, I wanna take your fucking girl, bro.
Rakan's passive is Fey Feathers. His coat occasionally generates a shield, even in combat. Rakan can reduce Fey Feathers' cooldown by attacking and landing spells on enemy champions.
So that's how he
When
attacks.
playing
He
on the
uses
same
his fucking
team as
feathers.
his true love Zaya, Rakan gets a second passive, Lover's Leap. If either Zaya or Rakan is
Yeah,
recalling, they can
they can
sync
join.
up to return to base together.
Yep. Lover's leap. Huh?
Rakan's Q is Gleaming Quill, which slings an enchanted feather that damages the first enemy hit. If it connects with an enemy champion or epic monster, he primes the second part of the ability. After a few seconds, or when he touches an ally
He uses-
champion,
he
Rakan
uses
heals
that-
all nearby allies.
Oh!
Gleaming Quill is Rakan's primary tool for winning quick trades in lane. Get a poke or two in with a quill and an auto attack, then touch base with your ally.
And
to
he
spread-
like, wow.
Rakan's W is Grand Entrance. He leaps forward, landing stylishly at his destination. After a brief
knock up.
dramatic pause, he flourishes, knocking up and damaging all nearby opponents. When it's time to pick a fight, it's best to make a Grand Entrance. The knockup is wide enough that you can choose which side of your opponent to land on.
I said, you can't stop me, bro.
Rakan's E is Battle Dance. He leaps to an allied champion's side, giving them a shield to block damage. He can then cast Battle Dance a second time, even on the same target, before it goes on cooldown.
What?
Zaya's the target of either charge, Rakan can leap to her position from a much greater distance.
Oh, so he prioritizes Zaya, yo. What the fuck? Ta-ta.
Yeah.
Battle Dance is often the best way to get in position for Grand Entrance. Once you've baited out their panic,
Yeah, and you can
use the second dance.
Go to your ally side and then do the knock up
Rakan's ultimate is the quickness, which lasts a few seconds. While the quickness is active, Rakan gains bonus movement speed and charms and damages all enemies he touches.
It's my boy. Yeah, as they say, he's a
gains an
charmer, my
additional
boy.
burst of speed upon charming his first enemy champion.
So he can go and. Ooh.
Enemies can
The
only
quick-
be afflicted once with the quickness.
Yeah, so he can just run through the entire squad and
Rakan's
just.
ult is a great tool for getting out of sticky situations. After he's gone in deep with Grand Entrance, the
He can just
lets him
come
make
back.
a graceful exit while leaving a trail of broken hearts in his
Oh,
wake.
I think he can. No, I don't think he can use the fucking. Go by ally
Rakan
side.
is incredible at keying off of his teammates to make a Grand Entrance. Battle Dance turns Lee Sin into a launch pad, which makes for
Go
an
to his
incredibly
side.
eloquent
Walk
setup
with
onto the
Jhin.
opposing Jhin. How does it feel to be on the receiving end of a beautiful death?
Wow!
Rakan's got 3 separate mobility spells. He can enter, exit, and re-enter fights whenever he pleases. He can't stand toe-to-toe with his opponents easily, so Battle Dance keeps Rakan
Come on,
safe
boy,
while
that's
Lucian
fucking
goes in for
swiping.
damage, and a Grand Entrance helps grab the kill.
Whoa.
Once Rakan's abilities come off cooldown, he clears a wall and makes Jhin and Xerath get down with the quickness. Ooh, ah, 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 ah.
The quickness, yo, he fucking charms them.
Rakan's abilities let him get to allies fast, but that's not always the right play. He wanted to give Jhin a shield, but instead brought home a fresh brand ultimate. Then
Ooh.
dashed straight into a painfully long Morgana
So
smash.
remember
Played
fucking.
a little more
What
carefully,
the
the Charmer
fuck?
and the Virtuoso might have both made it out alive.
I can't die looking this good.
Rakan is truly
That brand-
excellent
that
at darting
brand
in and
ultimate
out
is
of
fucking
combat,
sick.
even more so with Xayah in the game. He dives in on Kog'Maw with Grand Entrance, deals extra damage with Gleaming Quill, then delivers a shield and heal to whichever marksman needs it more. As the
Wow.
enemies chase his lover, he makes his second entrance onto the backline.
Another
crushing
Grand
the Void
Entrance.
Beast together with Bay.
Yes,
After
they did
Kog'Maw
this
is
with
felled, the
fucking.
most fabulous
Yeah, with
of sports
Kog'Maw fucking
follows
killed
Braum in the
Xayah.
jungle for some supportal combat.
Where you going? Where you
Where you,
going?
where you going, bro?
Let's have a team fight. Rakan starts strong by charming every enemy in sight.
Wait, that's Talia.
But things start to fall apart when Xayah goes too deep into the river.
Oh. No, she's. Well, that's
Thankfully,
3v1.
Rakan is selfless, and Chivalry is not dead as he dives.
Oh, my
in
boy
front of a
fucking
bullet for
dives
his
in
better
again.
half.
What the
What
fuck?
the hell were you thinking?
Back there? I wasn't. I never think. Ugh, thinking.
What was it? Rise! Boy, rise!
Thanks for tuning in to the Rakan
Jitsu
Champion
style,
Spotlight.
bro.
Head on over to the Xayah Spotlight to learn more about this duo.
Come on, Xayah and fucking Rakan, bro. Wild Magic Bros. Yeah, she's cute.
Welcome to
Warwick!
the Champion Spotlight, featuring Warwick, the
Wabash
unkilled
Banda! Unkid Wrath of fucking Zod!
Bad ideas.
Yo, Twisted Flip, bro! Rock with Twisted Flip!
Warwick's passive is Eternal Hunger.
Eternal Hunger.
Basic attacks deal bonus damage. If he's low on health, the bonus damage also
Heal him?
heals him. Warwick's Q is Jaws of the Beast. When
Switches
pressed, he
direction.
lunges to an enemy, dealing damage based on max health, applying on-hit effects, and healing Warwick.
Wow.
If you hold Q down during the lunge, Warwick will actually leap behind
Behind.
the target.
What the
As an
fuck?
extra benefit, Warwick will also follow any other movements they make, such as Arcane Shift or Flash. Use Jaws of the Beast and Eternal
So he's a
Hunger
jungler.
whenever possible to stay healthy in the jungle.
He's a
Just be sure to
jungler,
pick out the
okay.
splinters after. Warwick's W is Blood Hunt.
Yes, he did this. He did this when the
Whenever
guy was in the
Warwick
fucking
attacks
elevator.
Any enemy below half HP, he gains bonus attack speed until he switches targets. Whenever an enemy champion is revealed below half HP anywhere
Oh,
on
did
the
he leave a
map, they are
trail?
afflicted with Blood Hunt, creating a blood trail that leads toward them. This blood trail will follow Warwick's prey through Fog of War or Stealth.
So even if Evelyn
Warwick
is
gains
in,
bonus out of combat move speed whenever moving toward a blood hunted enemy champion. All of Blood Hunt's passive components are massively increased against enemies who are incredibly low on health.
Ooh, so the lower you be, the bigger the fucking
Activating Blood Hunt
trail.
sends the nearest enemy champion within a large radius, granting the blood trail and speed boosts regardless of health for a short time.
Whoa, holy fuck.
Blood Hunt's active cooldown is extremely high, but it cools down twice as fast while no enemy champions are hunted.
Okay.
Remember, Blood Hunt's passive applies globally. No enemy is ever out of reach, whether they're fleeing from a Yordle with a big ol' hammer or simply cowering under a turret.
So this is similar to fucking action. When you
Warwick's
scoundrel
key is
with
Primal
action.
Howl.
He fails them.
When activated, Warwick takes significantly reduced damage for a short period of time. When the effect wears off, or if deactivated early, Warwick causes nearby enemies to flee from him.
That's fair.
Even a wolfman can find chickens daunting, but thanks to Primal Howl's damage reduction, Warwick can raid the coop without taking a pecking.
Look.
Warwick's ultimate is Infinite Duress.
Fuck! Look at all the slashing!
Direction suppressing the first enemy champion he collides with, damages them, repeatedly applies on hit effects, and then heals himself for all the damage he dealt them. Infinite Duress's leap distance increases with Warwick's movement speed.
Joseph,
Use the crowd control during the leap, but not during the suppression. If Primal Howl is active when you tackle an enemy champion with Infinite Duress, it will immediately deactivate to send surrounding foes fleeing.
What the fuck? So you can just single out that.
Uncaged Wrath of Zon stacks enough movement speed, Infinite Duress's leap distance gets downright loony. Use it to get in the enemy backline space, then jam on him.
And he fares, and he couldn't just fare everybody else and just pinpoint one.
Jaws of the Beast's leap is perfect for sinking your teeth into elusive prey. Here, Warwick picks up a Moo scent and closes the initial gap with Blood Hunt's movement speed. Primal Howl makes the sad mummy cry in fear, slowing him down.
What the
Warwick
fuck?
then saves Jaws of the Beast to follow in case of a bandage toss or flash, killing him at the end. Blood Hunt's active ensures every chase is a thriller, even against a healthy target. Here, Warwick injects himself with Singed patented Hooch Hooch, and pops Ghost to get within range. He cuts off Twitch's escape path with Jaws of the Beast before turning the rat into his new favorite chew toy.
What the fuck?
Unchecked Bloodlust can land you in some hairy situations. Here, Warwick hunts down Ziggs and attempts to rip him apart with Infinite Duress.
Ziggs.
However,
so this is Ziggs everybody was talking about.
He has no idea
He
Graves
jumped
was
in,
put
yeah,
by
he's
for
inside of the
defense, as
fucking
he's
bush.
healthy and not hunted. Unlucky.
Extremely unlucky, bro.
Warwick's Howl is enough to split even the tightest wolf packs. He preps Primal Howl, then begins the attack on Titan of the Depths using Jaws of the Beast. Primal Howl's fear turns Nautilus into the team's loneliest tank, before Warwick's team finally picks up the kill.
Where you going, bro?
Now. You can pull off a similar trick with Infinite Duress. Here, Warwick spots some approaching squishies and preps Primal Howl. He chooses Xerath as his target, terrifying the sparkly blue man's allies. From there, Warwick can sniff out fleeing prey and pick up tomorrow's dinner. Thanks for watching the
my boy turned into a fucking.
Wrath of Zon using
What the
link below.
fuck? My boy play with fetch. Yo, Warwick is just like a fucking. He's just like he come out a fucking scary movie. Yo, Warwick is fucking different. You see, my boy can movement speed and he can fucking. You see how far my boy jumps? But yeah, guys, that's it for this fucking video, boy. Whoa, what the fuck? Yo, it seems that the champs get better the further down they fucking go, because this is wild. League of Legends is fucking wild. I love this fucking game. I haven't even played this game and I fucking love it. Thank you so much for everybody who came and watched the video, man. Yo, I'm fucking grateful for everybody who come here and watch the video every single day. Thank you very much. until another video. Until the next video, guys. Peace the fuck out.